Today, we're going on a journey deep inside the body to uncover the hidden engines of your metabolism. We're going to go from the simple, everyday movements you barely even notice, all the way down to the tiny, microscopic switches inside your cells that control, well, everything. You know, it's a question that I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. We all know that person, right? They eat pretty normally, they're definitely not living at the gym, but somehow they just seem to stay lean, almost effortlessly. Is it just amazing genetics? Or is there something else going on, something we're not seeing? Well, a huge piece of that puzzle is right here in this number, 2,000. That's the potential calorie difference per day between two people of the exact same size. And no, that's not from running marathons. It's from a secret metabolic engine fueled by thousands of little actions all day long. So let's start with the big picture, the stuff we can actually see. We tend to get really focused on that 1 hour we spend at the gym, but the real secret weapon might just be in the other 23 hours of the day. And it all comes down to a concept called NEAT. NEAT, it stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. It's a term that was coined by Dr. James Levine over at the Mayo Clinic. You might have heard of him. He's the researcher who famously said, "Sitting is the new smoking." And NEAT is basically all the energy you burn doing anything that isn't sleeping, eating, or a formal workout. Think walking to your car, fidgeting, doing chores, all of it. To really see why this is so important, just look at how your body burns energy throughout the day. Yeah, most of it is your basal metabolic rate. That's just the energy needed to keep the lights on. A little bit comes from digesting food. Your workout is a slice of the pie, but look at NEAT. It's the only part of this whole chart that is highly variable. That is where that massive 2,000 calorie swing between people really comes from. It's a game changer. And here's the key difference you got to understand. You have EAT, that's exercise, activity, thermogenesis. That's your planned 30-minute walk on the treadmill. Then you have NEAT, that's choosing to walk to your friend's house instead of grabbing the car keys. One is structured, the other is spontaneous. The mindset is totally different. But to your metabolism, the movement is just as valuable. And the best part is, NEAT is literally everywhere. It's fidgeting your leg while you work, washing the dishes by hand, taking the stairs, gardening. Seriously, even laughing burns calories. And get this, research shows that just standing and walking for an extra 2.5 hours a day can burn around 350 extra calories. These little things add up to a huge metabolic advantage over time. Okay, but it's not just about what you do. It's also about when you do it. So now we're going to zoom in a level from our visible actions to the invisible systems that control them. What if I told you that every single cell in your body has its own clock, and that clock is basically running your entire metabolism? Yeah, we're talking about circadian rhythms. You can think of it like a master conductor for your body's entire orchestra. It doesn't just tell you when you should feel sleepy or when to wake up. It's sending signals to every single one of your cells, including your fat cells, telling them when to store energy and when to burn it. And when that clock gets messed up, the whole orchestra just falls out of sync. There was this incredible study from Northwestern University that showed exactly what happens when that clock breaks. The researchers went in and they disrupted the circadian rhythm in fat cells. And the result was immediate. The mitochondria, the little power plants inside the cell, they just started to malfunction. The whole energy production line gets jammed up, and that leads directly to metabolic dysfunction. And the lead author, Dr. Joseph Bass, put it perfectly. He said the problem isn't just about having extra fat. The real issue is that the underlying machinery, the energy handling system inside your cells, is fundamentally broken. So if you can fix that energy defect, well, that's where the real solution lies. All right, time for our final leap. We're going from the cellular system all the way down to the molecular engines that run the entire show. We are talking about the master switch that controls how your cells respond to absolutely everything we've just discussed. Okay, I know, the AMPK-SIRT1 FOXO pathway, it sounds ridiculously complicated. But just think of it like this. It's your cell's internal emergency response system, or maybe a thermostat. When it senses stress, like low energy because you're moving, or damage because your internal clock is off, it kicks into gear to protect the cell and manage its energy. It is the ultimate survival circuit. So how's it work? It's actually a really elegant cascade. First, you've got AMPK, that's the energy sensor. It detects there's a problem. That activates SIRT1, who acts like the general manager, coordinating the whole cell's response. And then SIRT1 tells FOXO, the worker, to get busy and turn on all the right genes for repair and antioxidant defense. It's just beautifully efficient. So this is all fascinating cell biology, I get it. But here's the million-dollar question. Can we actually do anything to influence this master switch? Can we give it a boost? Well, the answer, believe it or not, might be hiding in your kitchen pantry. I mean, is it really possible that our diet can reach all the way down to this deep molecular level and help us flip that switch? A 2022 study decided to look into a very, very common compound to find out. And that compound is capsaicin. Yep, the stuff that makes chili peppers spicy. What the study found was pretty amazing. Capsaicin directly increases the levels of SIRT1. Remember, that's the general manager of our cellular response team. And that in turn protected the delicate cells that line our blood vessels from stress, and it even reduced key markers of cellular aging. I mean, listen to the researchers' conclusion here. This is powerful stuff. They said that capsaicin could be a potential candidate for the prevention of vascular aging. That's a direct line from a spicy pepper to a key protein, all the way to a major health outcome. How cool is that? So let's just quickly trace our path back. We started big with NEAT and saw how all those small fidgety movements can have a massive impact. Then we learned that our internal clock dictates when our metabolism is even working. We zoomed all the way into the AMPK pathway, that master switch for cellular survival. And finally, we discovered that something as simple as the stuff in chili peppers might help us flip that switch in our favor. And that really brings us to the final question. And this one's for you. From taking the stairs instead of the elevator to maybe adding a little spice to your next meal, you actually have influence at every single one of these levels, from the macro all the way down to the micro. So what's one small change you could make to start tuning up your body's incredible hidden engines?